Hi, today the book that I chose for the Caldecott Award winner medal is Snowflake Bentley. It's by Jacqueline Briggs Martin and illustrated by Mary Azarian. So this book is a kid-friendly biography over the person who discovered that each snowflake is different and unique in their own way. So his nickname was Snowflake Bentley, but his real name was Willie, and it just goes throughout from the beginning of his life to the very end of his life about how he was so interested in snow and snowflakes and just really all different kinds of weather, but mainly snowflakes. And throughout his life, instead of wanting to play in the snow when he was younger, he would rather be looking at snow and trying to draw snowflakes, even though he couldn't preserve them long enough before they melted. But he was just really different when it came to observing weather, different than anybody in his community, and he was really made fun of quite a bit for that. But by the age of 16, he got a microscope that had the ability to take pictures and look at snowflakes good enough to, and that's when he discovered that each one is different. So throughout his life, instead of like that was what he did for his career, basically, is researching and learning about snow. And so I think and at the end of the story, it says that a monument was built for him in the center of town, and people always brought him up. And it says 40 years after Bentley's death, children in his village worked to set up a museum. And then it also says that neighbors and strangers have come to know the icy wonders that land on their own mittens, thanks to Snowflake Bentley. So it's kind of just, so this book, I think, was written from the biography, and it was just kind of a tribute to Willie Bentley. So I think and ultimately, I think kids, for what they get out of it is to stay passionate, and that's what I chose for the theme of this book, is passion, because Willie had passion to learn about snowflakes, and no matter what anybody said, no matter how much fun he got made of, he stuck to it, and it paid off because he became famous for what he did, and it did change the world. So I think it also introduces kids to the science behind weather and snowflakes, because they just think, to them, it's just white stuff that falls from the sky, but really it's different than that, and this book kind of shows a little bit into the description of how snowflakes are formed and why each one is different, which some kids probably don't even know that. I also think that the unique part of this book is that on the sides of each page there's a like in the background of the snow, this part of the book is a biography. It gives factual evidence, and then the middle part of the book is where the illustrations are and the storyline of the book, which this part of the illustrations is what interests kids the most. The outside are just factual evidence that go along with the book. I think a life skill that kids get from this is to stay passionate for something and work hard towards it, because in the end you will live out your dream, and just as Willie did, or at least it gives them the inspiration to do that and to go for their dreams. I also think that this book is also teaches children about biographies and what they are about and how they relive a person's whole life. And at a young age of kindergarten to second grade, or even third grade, which is what I think this book is aimed towards, kids haven't gotten introduced to biographies, and if they have, not very much, but this book kind of introduces them to that as well. So a strategy that I came up with, that I actually did with my kindergarten class this year, is to take a piece of wax paper and draw an X and then a line through that X with glue on the wax paper, and then each kid rips up tiny pieces of wax paper and puts them on there. Overnight it dries, and you rip off the snowflake, and it shows, and then you look around the room at each kid's a snowflake, and every single one of them is unique and different in their own way. So it's instead of using microscopes to look at each snowflake and to see how different they are, which kindergartners and first grade and second graders couldn't do, this way teaches them and proves that Willie's evidence of figuring out that each snowflake is unique is true. So I thought that was a very interesting activity that I want to do with my kids when I become a teacher. So thanks for listening to this.